Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with Hughie Fury, Michael Hunter. So Ben Shalom, the promoter of Boxer, which has cards on Sky, has confirmed that Fury and Hunter have agreed terms to face each other. So he was making comments to Boxing Social. So he went on to say that this fight is likely to take place in July. So I actually think this is a pretty good fight overall, pretty evenly matched. And I'll go into some further depth and thoughts on this fight as it gets closer. But I think for Hughie Fury, he needs an opponent, a name like Michael Hunter, because at the moment he's on a little bit of an island at Sky. He's the biggest name there, but not necessarily pulling any big names in to face him until now. And for Hunter, he's looked a little bit shaky in recent fights. So this is a good name to fight against, to try to sort of build back up his profile, try to get a win. When he was at Triller, he faced Mike Wilson, nothing fight. Then he fought Jerry Forrest, arguably lost, but he escaped with a draw. So clearly, if he's agreed to terms for this fight, that means the Triller deal is up. Michael Hunter on the market, been snapped up for this fight. I like it. I think this is pretty much a 50-50. And Hunter himself, you can see here on screen, he has posted to a social media saying, "It's hunting season." Oleksandr Uysk is now topping the Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound ranking. So see here on screen. This is after Canelo Alvarez lost to Dimitri Bivol this past weekend. Usyk, the first heavyweight to top this pound-for-pound ranking list in more than 30 years since Mike Tyson. And I would note, though, when you go to the heavyweight section, Usyk is ranked below Tyson Fury, who is the number one heavyweight according to the Ring. But pound for pound, a little bit different, doesn't necessarily line up with a top 10 for a specific division. But there is the case, Fury, Usyk, who's better, who's the guy at heavyweight. At the moment, both these guys hold titles. And just sticking with Tyson Fury, so his promoter, Frank Warren, says, is he going to fight again? There's only one person who is going to make that decision, and that will be him. Me, personally, I would not say to him, you need to fight, because I would never go there with him. If someone's not got it in their heart to fight, then they shouldn't be in the ring, because it's the most dangerous sport you can get involved in, and you can get hurt. What I wouldn't like him to do is retire now and then come back because he's not reached his peak. He has no mileage on the clock, and he's only had 2 fights in 2 years. I look at him and I think that in 2 or 3 years, he isn't going to be at his peak. So fight at your best. Whatever you do it when you're at your best. I can't tell him what to do. All I can do is give him the benefit of my advice. What he decides to do will be for the benefit of himself and his family. And I think Frank Warren makes some good points there, because if Fury goes away, retires, piles on weight, and decides to come back when he's, 37, 38 years old, whatever, that won't be, I think, the best version of Tyson Fury. Fury, in my view, right now, is still in his sort of peak years where he's going to be performing. And even if he's sort of transitioned and morphed his style to something a little bit different, a little bit more aggressive, maybe less reliant on movement, say, in the earlier Tyson Fury of 2015, this version of Fury is very good, very difficult to beat. And there's only going to be a few guys who are probably going to give him a proper challenge right now and for the next couple of years. If he goes on and fights for several years, he'll get beaten at some point. But right now, he's a pretty tough cover. But someone who's not convinced that he's retiring is Alexander Krasjuk. So he obviously represents Oleksandr Uysk. He says, I don't take it seriously. It's all about the interest, all about the publicity. He's a big entertainer. That might be what he really thinks at the moment, but I'm not sure he will stay with his decision for a long time. And I think there are a lot of fans certainly questioning the so-called retirement from Tyson Fury. Is it really going to happen so close to a potential undisputed fight, so close to even attaining more legacy? Fury already says he's the best of his era, one of the best, if not the best ever. But as I keep saying, the legacy building never stops, especially when you're in your prime and you've got some massive chunks of legacy that will totally cement your place in heavyweight history, a la being an undisputed champion. That's dangling out there at the moment. The Swedish heavyweight Otto Wallin, who returns to the ring May the 26th in Detroit in the Detroit Brawl, he will be facing Rhino, posting to social media saying, getting a lot of good work these days, feeling great, heading into the fight on the 26th. And this is something that I thought I would certainly mark, the long-awaited rival of the Don King production poster for Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois. As you can see, another masterpiece. So it's quite funny that less than a month out from the fight, finally a promotional poster has been put out for the fight. Fight for freedom and peace. And it does look like another job that someone's done on their home computer with some very basic software. Look at all the words on there. It's, how's anyone going to read that? And I've got a big screen where I'm reading this on. And that text, some of that's pretty tiny. But Don King, his promotional posters, always good for a bit of a laugh. And rounding out this heavyweight news and notes mashup video, so the British prospect Jeamie Tshikeva, he has announced that he will be joining the Richard Riakporhe card on the 11th of June, saying, I'm sure you didn't expect this one. We're back at the OVO Arena June 11th. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud enough and hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.